There's a new power player quietly shaking up the entire marketing world, sitting right at that sweet spot between creativity and code. So today, let's dive into the rise of the AI marketing strategist.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll define this new breed of marketer. Then we'll look at where the role came from. After that, we'll see it in action, check out the tools they use, and finally, lay out a path for how you can become one.
Okay, first things first, let's tackle the big question, the elephant in the room, whenever AI and jobs come up in the same sentence.
And look, it's a totally fair question. You hear all this talk about automation, and it's only natural to wonder if AI is here to make marketers obsolete. But the data tells a really different story. Here's where the story gets super interesting. The World Economic Forum is projecting that AI will actually create a net total of 12 million new jobs. So yeah, some roles might change, but a whole lot more are going to be created. It's not about replacement, it's about evolution. And one of the most critical new roles popping up is, you guessed it, the AI marketing strategist. So, who exactly is this person? Well, think of them as the ultimate translator. They need to have one foot in the creative, fast-paced world of marketing and the other firmly planted in the technical world of data science. Their whole job is to make sure these two teams are speaking the same language.
And this slide really nails that split personality. The simple way to think about it is they're the bridge. But if you want to get technical, what they're really doing is integrating complex AI models, like machine learning to predict what customers will do next, or natural language processing, NLP for short, to understand content, and tying all of it back to real, measurable business goals.
Okay, so how did we even get here? This role didn't just pop up out of nowhere. It's actually the result of a huge shift over the last decade in how businesses think about and use data.
If you look at the timeline, it makes a ton of sense. Back in the late 2010s, we started seeing data analysts join marketing teams. That was new. Then in the early 2020s, companies just kind of started tacking AI skills onto existing job descriptions. But by 2023, it was obvious that wasn't enough. You needed a dedicated leader, and that's when the official AI marketing strategist role was born.
And this is the number that lit the fire under everyone. When a whopping 83% of businesses say AI is now a top priority, you can't just treat it like an afterthought. You absolutely need specialists who can steer the ship. That incredible demand is what cemented this role on the org chart. This isn't just a trend, it's a fundamental shift.
All right, so enough with the theory. What does this look like in the real world? Let's check out how this role is already making a huge impact at some major companies you've definitely heard of.
The big players are already all in. Coca-Cola created 2 senior AI marketing roles just last year. Ad agency M&C Saatchi hired a generative AI head. And the results? They're insane. One campaign went from taking a full year to produce down to just 2 months. I mean, think about that. That is a massive competitive advantage.
And the data just keeps backing this up. Accenture found that using AI to fine-tune emails can boost open rates by 41%. A Salesforce report showed that 71% of B2B marketers are already using AI. So this isn't some abstract idea. We're talking about real, measurable wins in efficiency and engagement.
Okay, now for the really cool stuff. What's actually in the toolkit for one of these strategists? Let's pop the hood and see what they're working with every single day.
It really comes down to 3 main buckets. First, you've got the AI models themselves, everything from predictive analytics to generative tools like GPT-4. Second, you need the tools to manage all the data, like customer data platforms or CDPs, and analytics tools like Google Analytics or Tableau. And finally, you have to measure what you're doing with new metrics, like an AI engagement rate, to prove it's all working.
So at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I'm interested. How do I actually become one of these? Well, let's pivot and lay out a clear, actionable game plan for anyone looking to get into this field.
And this is so important because it shows you need to be a both sides of the brain kind of person. Of course, you need the tech skills, understanding AI basics, data analysis, maybe even a little Python. But what's just as crucial are the soft skills, strategic thinking, problem solving, and being an amazing communicator. Remember, you have to be that bridge. So what's the game plan? Well, here's a simple 4-step path you can actually follow. Start by taking some foundational courses to get the basics down. Then, get certified to prove you know your stuff. Go deeper with some key books on the topic. And then, and this is the most important part, get your hands dirty and build something yourself.
And to make it even easier, here are some top-notch resources you can check out right now. There's a great AI and marketing course from the University of Virginia on Coursera. Search from places like IBM or the Digital Marketing Institute look amazing on a resume. The AI Marketing Canvas is a must-read book. And for practice, you can't beat jumping into a Kaggle competition or starting your own prompt engineering project.
So let's wrap this up. The AI Marketing Strategist. This isn't some job of the future that might happen someday. It's here, right now. Companies are desperately looking for people with these skills. The only question left is, are you going to be one of them?